What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. My name is Kevin, and you're watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch. Every Monday and Friday, we go over the Lorcana news, the card prices, and the meta trends. On Friday, we're joined by Zach Stone, who blesses us with his opinion on card prices. Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. This is an amazing start of the weekend and the last weekend that we get to have without Azurite C being in the format. And I can't wait. I know you can't wait. You did talk about those cards in our most recent video. So if you haven't watched that, please check it out and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can provide you more Lorcana Goons news. We
Uh,
are starting off today's market watch with the Mufasa B Trade Leader. That is a cold foil card that I've been keeping my eyes on ever since our boy Lore Gaines, aka Alvin Hernandez, made his top 16 with at the DLC Seattle. I really can't wait for these cards and everything to kind of come full force. We've been cooking some ideas, and I would love to share with everyone. But this card right now is sitting at a nice price. I would look into buying some because it has been around $30 to $35 as a cold foil before. Kevin, do you have your cold foil Mufasas?
I don't. I had a couple, and then people ended up wanting them at some point, and they ended up going up a little shortly after. I pretty much just got rid of them for a little bit more than $20, I'm sure, but they've always been going up since then. It is a card from set two, so as set two gets older and older, I feel like the card prices for those cold foil legendaries also continue to grow. And yeah, shout out Lorgain, shout out Alvin for getting top 16 with an Amber Steel Mufasa deck. And like we were talking about, Zach, we've been testing some of the Azurite C cards that have been coming out in our own testing circle, and we've been leaning towards that Mufasa Amber Steel deck. You've been saying that you think it's a really good deck, especially with the addition of some of those Azurite C cards like Lilo, and Mufasa just one of those power cards that you can play on turn 5 and feel pretty safe going into a B prep. Lowest verified is Norwest cards today. That's going to be, like you said, $27. If you don't want the cold foils, though, you can get your Mufasas for closer to $12. Going to be Norwest cards again, lowest verified. Summit Strategy after that, 11.25. They have two of them for you right there. So they were less than $10, and ever since the DLC, they've been going up a little bit more and more each week. And if you guys are going to, well, there is no DLCs actually, Zach. That's one of the things that we were going to talk about later in the video. But we at least have some tournaments to go to. Maybe some set champs in the future. We're preparing for Continentals coming very soon. Maybe even some local tournaments. And if you need any sleeves for your local tournaments, be sure to pick them up from pristineprotectiontcg.com, where you can use code Goons10 and save 10% on your order. These are the sleeves that Zach and I use. We have them at the locations that we vend cards at for sale, and we use these for our DLC and big game tournaments. Personally, I like them. I enjoy them. They have sleeves for your Japanese cards, for your standard sizes as well, and they're pretty solid quality in my opinion. But let's get on into some more meta cards. Diablo Devoted Herald looking pretty cheap today. Like Zach was saying, the market is low, I guess. Like right now, cards are cheap. Everybody's waiting to see what's going to be good for Azurite C and like what tournaments we're going to be going to, right? Lowest verified for Diablo is now 28.48. Shipping included by Gotcha IRL. You think this is going to last long, Zach? You think Diablo's going to be less than $30 for a long time? I think Diablo's still really good in the new format. In fact, everybody was talking about on Twitter how Diablo should be banned this week.
I was going to mention that. Yes, the conversation going around currently in the Twitter space was that Diablo has a terrible design, meaning more often than not, you're having to shape and strategize your deck building process and everything above into mulliganing just to assume this card could be played as early as turn 2. However, right now the price is very solid price. I've seen the Diablo, start at a highest of like $60 for your normal ones in the very beginning of Ursula's Return. As time has gone on, we've seen the price will get lower and lower. The cold foils, I believe, are only like 35, maybe $36. It might be a better investment of your money if you're going to go long term with something like this. But the conversation of cards needing or potentially being banned or limited can stray people away from going out of their way and buying like multiple copies. I know collectors will have their one copy that they would be fine no matter what happens with the ban list. However, this card still has to be considered. There is a lot of answers with Azurite C and a lot of cards that we did go over about how the twin fire can initially answer this. We thought that you can do 2 damage to the same character. We were wrong. So that means you have to be able to do another point of damage or remove that hidden cove if that Diablo is moved there. Kevin, this card, I know you love it. I've seen you play this card even without the one drop Diablo. Do you think it deserves this price?
I mean, for a cold foil legendary that I feel like is a staple in every Emerald deck. I'm surprised it's still less than $40. I'm surprised the non-foil is less than $30. And I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. But who knows? There's a lot of talks in the community now about a possible future ban list, but Lorcana hasn't said anything like any confirmation about that. There's nothing been set in stone about like any ban list stuff, and even with the Bucky errata, they said themselves that that's not something they want to do very often, right? But you guys let us know. Do you think Diablo is ban worthy? Do you think Lorcana is going to do a ban list anytime soon, or is it going to be more of like a rotation situation, or are you fine with Diablo and the outs we have to it? I think the card's good. I think the card design itself is not terrible. The real issue, in my opinion, is that there's not a lot of outs to Diablo that are naturally found in the color pairings, and a lot of the outs to Diablo in the colors happen to either be uninkable, which make them just really bad because you're already forced to limit your uninkable count in the game, or they're just borderline unplayable because against any other matchup they do absolutely nothing, and like you said, it forces you to like play certain cards that are just not very handy, right? And I did see somebody even mention, what if we had a sideboard in Lorcana, right? That way you can actually have like use case for playing certain cards and then switching them out because like we've been saying, like having to play certain cards in your deck for a 9 round Swiss tournament just because you might play against 2 or 3 Diablos, is not necessarily problematic, but it would be really cool to see if they gave us some more outs to Diablos in the color pairings. But be sure to look out for this card because it's not going anywhere next format. And personally, I still think Emerald Steel is going to be one of the best decks next format as it was in this recent format. And I think Sisu is a great card to out the Emerald strategy. And today they're also coming down in price. Lowest verified is 1760 by Hobby Overflow. These were selling for even more than $20 during the season, during like the tournament season, like $25 almost at one point, and now they're around $17. So I maybe consider picking those up long term, like Zach said, if you really want to start picking up some of these staples, which are probably going to be used in certain strategies. I feel like if you're playing red blue still, like Ruby Sapphire, you're probably still playing the Sisu, right? Cold foils are 28.45, not too bad by the Nimbus Cloud. They were selling for a little bit more than 30, and now they're still around that $28-$29 range. So not too shabby. Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood non-foils are also in that $29 range. These have been coming down since October, more than $35. They were almost 40 at one point, and now you can find them for 30, 50 by Blue Eyes Gaming, lowest verified for your champion Sherwoods. And the cold foils, they kept their price at that $40 mark. I like to see this because they were so close at one point. 44.40 actually by Buy This Cardboard is the lowest verified. Not too bad. From 50 to 45 is only like $5 since the season slowed down, but the non-foils have been coming down a lot. Whole New World, some more staples that are pretty cheap today, 10.57, and CNS Gaming has two of them for you right there, ready for you. Zach, do you think we're playing Whole New World this next format?
Whole New World definitely will see play. I know Sapphire Steel has been straying away from Whole New World in their deck. However, Amber Steel's song, the Whole New World card, doesn't go away whatsoever. I've been trying out lists without it, and I find myself kind of playing on hard mode when I don't have that card in my deck. The ability to just disrupt the mulligan too can always come up. The singers that like Ariel and Gaston are going to be a lot more difficult to remove because we have the twin fire not being able to do the 2 damage to the same character. And we see Ruby decks cutting brawls and cutting other cards like Elsa to be able to answer those singers. And personally, I think I've said it before and I say it again. I live and die by the wheel. You have to play this like the way you play Amber Steel is a lot different than if you have this card in your deck versus you don't. Sometimes you are playing as if like I gotta draw this card off the top of my deck. And it happens and you're going to get rewarded when you play that way. Daisy Duck giving the characters and just nuking them from their hand is still powerful. And we're going to see a lot of synergies with the new Treeborn Lilo. You don't mind discarding that card and drawing a whole new hand because on the following turn, you're able to bring out that character exerted. We've seen cards like Sven to be able to re-ready characters. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, not only that Lilo, but in general, that new Simba shift character, that's more characters that you can shift to seeing this card earlier and being able to use whole new world with that and re-readying your characters might be also something that players might want to look into. But in general, yeah, we got some pretty good Amber cards, and Amber Steel, Song, Whole New World, Dot Deck, however you want to call it, has always been a top contender in the meta since set one. So I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. You can use Whole New World with Fishbone Quill as well, like Zach was saying with Sapphire Steel. We have a Value of Wonders TCG for 673 with shipping 170, and then after that 843 by TCG Excursion, they have three of them for you. So less than $9 for your Fishbone Quills, which is pretty cheap in my opinion for some Sapphire staples. For cold foils though, these continue to go up. Love to see that. So today, lowest verified. Wow, Tabletops Hobbies has one for 1671. That's a deal right there because the next one jumps immediately to 22 and then 25 and then 27. Lowest verified by
We love
Elysium
them
Video Game.
deals.
That's them deals. Hey, shout out Jerry and Arnold. That's some real deals right there. I wonder if you can add this to your cart. Not gonna buy it, just wondering. There you go. If somebody sees this video and it's still there, that's all you. I don't need these. But yeah, Fishbone Quill. A really good deal right there. That's them deal. Shout out that seller. Who was that? I gotta shout them out now. It's gonna be Tabletops Hobbies, bro. Shout out you guys. Again, not gonna buy it. You guys go buy it if you find it still. Nimbus Cloud, lowest verified for a non-foil Queen's Castle, 735. That's some more cheap cards for you right there. If you need to pick up some staples, I don't think Queen Castle's going anywhere in next format. This card's really good. And if you want a cold foil Queen's Castle, they're going to be as cheap as $15. Lowest verified is 14 with shipping included by showing off cards. What do you think of Queen's Castle, Zach Stone? Still relevant?
It has to be. I know locations are going to be considered more into the next set. Jim Hawkins still can play this card for free and move itself to that location for free. Could see Ruby M go back to those strategies. I know with the location removal as well, Billy Bones and the Wreck-It Ralph, there is some consideration to like how many should you play. I don't know if like you're going to jam like as many copies as locations like libraries and castles as possible into Ruby Ams. I think other choices would make more sense. The the idea that like we're going into a location meta may also be true. There's a lot of other steel locations that I've been keeping my eyes on, so we could see Amethyst Steel location deck be something that's relevant. I really want to see this card come out the woodworks, and I still wish that they can make this card an enchanted. Like I hope that they do something and the new promos from like the next season of DLCs or the prize wall, like they have something like this because I think we got gypped from not getting an enchanted version of this in the Inkland set. If you guys agree, go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, kind of disrespectful with some of the enchanted choices, but that would be really cool. To have a location like Queen's Castle become an enchanted, and we've seen DLCs offer reworks of cards, which is really cool. On a Diplomatic Queen today, selling for as low as $7. PM Gaming 686 with $1 shipping for your Ana Diplomatic Queens. And like I was saying, I don't think Emerald Steel is really going anywhere. So if you're still believing in Emerald Steel, I think Anna's still a card you might want to play in that deck. Some extra cheap cards, Merlin and Rabbit today. These are going to be as low as $1.50 with $1.50 shipping by Battle Face. So almost $2 to $3. These were closer to 4 to 5 at one point, Zach. And these come out in the gateway, so that's probably why a lot of them have been like getting circulated. So those are really cheap right now. Daisy Ducks, I think, are still pretty cheap, only about $6 to $7 if you go to the first page of non-verified listings. The lowest verified is Stone Drink Collects, and they're already going to be hitting $8. So maybe you want to get them right now, still closer to 7 before they hit that $8 mark. We were talking about Jim Hawkins, Zach, and look at this. They've been going up non-stop since the middle of October. Now lowest verified is 12.15 by the Nimbus Cloud, and then T Brock has the lowest non-verified for 9.64. A little bit of a discount right there. Even this guy right here, SM Cards, $10 with $1 shipping. They have 4 of them for you. That's a whole playset right there. Do you think Jim Hawkins is going to be that good?
I have a little bit of mixed feelings with Jim Hawkins. I think it's going to see some play. I just don't know what Ruby strategies are going to make this one work. I know Ruby Steel has been talked about as far as a more aggressive character deck. However, the locations that are going to be coming out do make people reconsider like how they may play. remember that you only could play a location where it costs 4 or less for free. So the new Treasure Mountain isn't something that you can play with this. However, you can move him there for free, and that does, I think, matter. The other locations that I'm also thinking about too are the Sugar Rush Speedways, the new Amber one, and so you have a Ruby Amber location deck that I know people are brewing. The card does let you draw 3 and gain 3 lore, and you do get to kind of manipulate Jim Hawkins, because if you have him in play, you can just play a location, move it for free, play another location, play the Sugar Rush location, move it to there for free. It now meets its requirement from going from one location to another, and that does, I think, matter.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. I still like the combo of being able to go just in time, Jim Hawkins into RLS Legacy. Let's go over Elsa, Spirit of Winter. These are still selling for around $16. They were more than $15, $16 during the format, but today they're going to be around $15.98 by Gotcha IRL for Elsa, Spirit of Winter. So if you're playing like a Blurple deck, maybe consider Elsa. Strength of a Raging Fire. These are like $7 today. Lowest verified for strength are going to be by Card Crack 692, and then we have another 695 by Traders of the Lost Ark. Love that. 695. They have two of them for you right there for your strength of a Raging Fire. Lilo's making a wish, kind of making a little bit of a comeback today. These are going to be $6. Rennis Collective has four of them for you. Underworld Cards has five of them for you right there. So getting them from the same seller means you'll save some shipping if you want to play a Lilo deck. Imagine you can play like a Lilo Gantu deck now, where you play this Lilo, the new Treeborn Lilo, and then the new Gantu. That'd be kind of cool. John Silver, Zach Stone. Tell me about this John Silver. The promos are selling for $7. Lowest verified is Stone brand card. Shout out you guys. They have 31 of them for you right there. If you want to pick them up from seller, if you want to use these for your Amber Steel or any location deck, because we have some new pirate location support too.
Yes, and I will cat's out of the bag. Stone Brand Cards is my TCG player account. So the card I know is seen play in the Amethyst Steel versions and the Amber Steel location decks. We are getting more locations, and the one I think is something to talk about. It's the Steel Galactic one, where if you have a alien or a robot here, this location can't be challenged. John Silver gains resist one for every location you have in play. And there is a few, I think, soft locks that can be created if you build around that strategy. This card is going to see play in the next set. However, the amount and how you strategize and deck build around it could change. I know the Amber Steel location deck is something that a lot of my friends want to play going into the beginning of the new set. A lot of location decks aren't really respected, and there are some differences for people to like adjust, and they're not able to understand how to play and navigate against location decks right away. That's something to keep in mind. And if you are a competitive player, definitely get involved in our Discord to talk about these strategies and go over some of the technical play. But this card is also a promo. You can get cheaper versions from the Into the Inkland set. So if you just need playable copies, I know those are less than $1 right now. This is sort of like a little boost for the time being. We have
Like the
the
highest
hype.
rarity, the highest rarity, right?
Yeah, but we have the hype from the DLC Seattle kind of affecting this price and the why it is so high. And you're starting to always see it, right? Gets hyped in the beginning, starts to slowly go down because two things start to happen. One, less people are interested in paying so much for it, and two, more people are interested in getting their money and they're competing to sell against each other. And that's just how that's how secondary markets go. And if you're not aware of the amount of like cards that go around. There's hundreds of stores that have unopened league kits because not too many people show up and play, and they get like 32 of these when the league kits come in. And we saw what happened to Bucky, and that was a league promo. Chicha in the very beginning was a league promo. The these are something to consider if you're like a collector in the space.
Finders Keepers is a league promo. There's only like a dollar or two. But yeah, it's a really good card. Like you said, if you don't need the promo, if you don't want the highest rarity, then you can go ahead and get the non foil versions as well. Doc Bold Knight, you're gonna have to pay a little bit for these non foils though. Even if you want the non foil version, lowest verified is 425 with a $1.27 shipping by Artist Q. They got four of them for you, so you can save some shipping right there. Shout out you guys. And yeah, the card sticks around almost $5 with extra shipping. So it's a little bit more. It's about a $5 card for your Doc Bold Knight. Pretty awesome there. Bare necessities. These are pretty cheap today. Still only about a dollar with a $1.27 shipping. Next up we have Mr. Smee over here. Mr. Smee, bumbling mate. These cold boils, Zach. These are going to be almost $8 today. How you feel about that?
Mr. Smee and the pirate strategy coming out in the Azurite Sea, I think is something to really, really consider. The cold foils sitting at this price, I'm very happy to see that. I've always felt like this card was overstated for being a two cost character. It's inkable, like it has so many positive things. Even if damaging itself cannot even not isn't always a drawback because of Amber's Rapunzel. So the card is strong. The pirate strategy is getting a lot more support. This card doesn't go anywhere. I think it's an auto 4 of include in most steel strategies going forward now because we have a very fast meta and there's a lot more captains that are coming in and play. So I think that this card is going to potentially get more for the cold foils. Normals are already at a dollar, and if you don't have your play sets, they're hard to find. I'm currently sold out of my inventory at Frank and Sons. So if you're in the area and you need your Smees, unfortunately, unless I buy some in, I won't have any. But the other cards that were talked about, plenty of available inventory between Kevin and I. Make sure to check us out if you're in any of our areas, and feel free to hit us up on Instagram for any of your card needs.
Yep. Zach is at Frankensons in City of Industry, and I am at the shops in Carlsbad on Sundays. So I think I might have some cold foils for me too, actually, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of cool. If you are playing a pirate strategy, maybe consider playing Jolly Roger in that pirate strategy as well. These promos have been going up just a little bit. They are now lowest verified 99 cents with a $1.27 shipping. Corbin Cards and Games has 16 of them ready for you, just like Zach was talking about. But now there's like a $2 promo. Could be going up to that Prince John level. You don't know. I do want to go over some Enchanted news, some full art promo news. This Oswald now listed lowest verified for $102 by Jekor with $2 shipping. Most recent sale was $120. Somebody bought two of them. Somebody bought two of them right there. And I'll be real with you. I am not the biggest fan of Oswald. I think it's a good card. But there's so much steel running around. How do you justify playing this card in an Emerald Steel dominated format?
I don't know. Personally, Sapphire isn't a strategy or color I have ever liked to play or work on. And I can kind of agree with you. As my testing when I'm playing Amber Steel, I drop a Cindy. The Oswald just looks so bad in this situation. And to be able and to have to wait to play it like on turns like 4, 5, and 6 doesn't really get you anywhere. You have to not sacrifice your early game anymore, or you can get incredibly punished going into the next set. This card does have a high roll factor, so there is some thought there that this card will come out and be very strong. However, when it's your day, and I can't hate on anybody that's like hitting lucky dimes off this or getting the Maurice's workshops and getting the true value that this card can give you. But it's a risk, and is it worth the reward? Well, that's up to you guys because this card for the promo is over $100, and the at MSRP the whole set was just about the same price. So it's like you get
Yeah.
one card and the rest are free.
Yeah, this is crazy because this is now the most expensive card in the entire set. And I feel like Ursula, no matter what, is gonna be no matter what the most played card from that D23 set. And I'm pretty sure this will come down in price when people realize that Oswald might not be your favorite Sapphire card to play in your strategy. Again, it's a good card, and I think if you're playing against certain strategies that can't do like ping 1 damage like Ruby Amethyst, then you'll be set to use this whenever you want. But the reality of it is everybody's playing steel decks is what it feels like. Emerald Steel. Amethyst Steel, Sapphire Steel, Amber Steel, right? And then on top of that, Emerald just got a new card, Mosquito Bite, which lets you put a damage counter on any card. It just pings away the Oswald. There's just so many outs to it. So many outs to it. Anyways, speaking of Sapphire stuff, the Enchanted Queen going up in price just a little bit. Oh, lowest verified today is going to be $70 with $5 shipping, so 75. If you want your Enchanted Queen Diviner, that's going to be by Craze Games right there. Not too bad, but again, I think the Sapphire strategy being a little bit hyped. RLS Legacy also going up in price because Zach was talking about that amber, that red yellow deck, right, Zach?
Campbell soup, man. Yeah, red and yellow, just getting its ultimate support with the location, the Sugar Rush Speedway. This is still a location that I think is very powerful. 8 willpower is nothing to sleep on, and the ability to make your characters evasive while there can just add to some extra like questing power. The option to answer Diablo 2 does come up. I like the prices that we're at, but the amount of listings is something I do want to mention here specifically. Take a look. We have a price at $60, the next one 75, the next two 90, and it's going to be gone after you hit a certain point. I don't know who's going to pay $90, but you're going to see more and more of these pop up later in the next coming weeks. If you are listening to this and the $60 one's still available and you've been needing to snag it for your collection, or if it's just the last copy you need to fully foil out and enchant your deck, definitely consider picking this one up today. I can see this card being a little bit more expensive after the dust settles. I mean, we saw other locations like Pride Lands go up previously when other people have talked about it. And just like right now, we're looking at a $75 price tag on the Enchanted Pride Lands with only 8 listings. So everybody, just consider what's happening here. The amount of listings and the scarcity does impact how I price my cards at the booth. I don't just always take the lowest selling price. I consider everything, how often it's selling, the amount of listings, where are there, the difference in prices between the lowest listing and the lowest listing on the end of the first page. I really look at everything, guys, and it's something to really consider. Like, something may be worth more to somebody else than the other person, but don't lowball yourself. Make sure you're looking at this information and getting the true value for your cards.
Yeah, because if you're trading them, you're selling them yourself, etc., you want to know the current prices. Like Zach was saying, Pride Lands being pretty hyped this week since the DLC. Really cool to see, but it jumps from 70 to 75 to 80 to 95. So you get you. It's up to you, however much you want to value that card at. But only 7 listings for that. Only 8 listings for Legacy. There's not that many available. And Pride Lands comes out in set 3. The Into the Inklands booster box. These have been going up little by little since the beginning of October, from $100 to $120. Now the Poke Post is your lowest verified at $119.93. They have 2 of them ready for you to go. MD Game Heaven also stays at around $120. They have 13 of them ready to go. So like I was saying about the Floodborne cards, they're hard to find now. The cards from set 2, cards from set 1 and set 2, Cold Foil Legendaries are kind of expensive because they're hard to find. Inklands might be on its way there too. So that's kind of cool to see. And if you want the new booster box, the Azurite Sea, you can pre-order it for around the similar price. A little bit less though. These are going to be 111 by Card Crack. They got 22 of them for you. I'm super excited for Azurite Sea. I know you guys are. Zach, what's your favorite card that you're looking forward to from Azurite Sea?
Oh, I have a little bit of a bias towards it. I am a sucker for that Lilo, just for the ability. It just reminds me of the frog deck I played in the beginning of the Yu-Gi-Oh tenure. So the option to just have it come back every turn, not for free, but the option just to not lose resources is really powerful. I'm looking forward to that. If I had another honorable mention, probably that 5 cost gone to with 4 lore. I think that card is overstated, and it's going to be, yeah, like, people are going to stare at that card and
That
just
card's
say,
crazy. Yeah.
you're 1/5 of the job done now, and what can I do? Sven re-readying it. Oh, well, there's 10 lore between 2 turns. It's nuts. What about you, Kevin?
I would say one of my top favorite cards that I'm looking forward to is Thievery. It's a Ruby card. It's a one cost action. Gain one lore, lose one lore. I love it. I love the artwork on it because I like Aladdin, I like Abu. And in general, that card's pretty good in my opinion, underrated. And next up, I would probably have to say maybe something. You know what? I'm really looking forward to trying to make an Emerald Steel pirate deck. I think that Emerald Daisy that draws a card anytime you quest at a location with a pirate is actually pretty good. We have the transporter pod, which lets you make that even better, and that John Steele that's good with locations. I just think Cove plus John Steele plus that Daisy must be a good deck, right? So that's another card I'm looking forward to test and try out in real life when Azurite Sea comes to your local game store next week, November 14th, 15th, I believe. But that's the weekend that you can find it at your local game store. It's not going to be available at Target or Walmart or big box retailers till November 25th. That's the pretty much the holiday season right there, right, Zach? Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Azurite Sea stuff. I wanted to go over the Stitch Rockstar Set Championship map because these are now selling for more than 200 bucks. Lowest verified is 262, and most recent sales on TCG Player have been all less than 200. So if you do want this map, you're gonna have to pay more than $200 now to acquire the Rockstar Stitch Championship Set Store play mat. This is the first set championship that we had, and the mat's now almost 300 bucks. And speaking of mats, you can buy some of the mats from the previous sets on Amazon right now for 19.99, shipped from Ravensburger. So they have the Stitch Rocket mat right there. They also got the How Far I'll Go mat if you want to get one of those for 20 bucks, and there's also the Rapunzel mat if you want it for 20 bucks. So these are kind of hard to find. They sell out very quickly in person. So if you've been looking for some of these mats, some of them are available on Amazon. Zach, are you gonna get any of these?
I have no real interest in acquiring more than like one of every mat. I already have these ones kind of tucked away. The prize wall did offer these at Seattle. Keep in mind that there is going to be side events between both the North American Continentals, European Continentals, and the World Championships hosted later in the next year. I am confident that more and more of these are going to be available. No one needs to rush in and buy it. However, $20 is MSRP. So if you have been needing to get this in, go ahead and take the time now to make that order on Amazon. We think that these mats are a great long-term investment. We have seen what's happened in the first chapter and even in the Floodborne mats. So get your hands on some of these today if you feel like this is also something that's worth investing in.
Yeah, as of recent sets, they've been like printing way more of the mats than they used to. You can still find the Look at This Family mat at Disney, downtown Disney, in Anaheim, California. But like I never got the Rapunzel mat; it's sold out. Like I never was able to get this one, so I'll get this one to match the Rapunzel mat I have right there. Yeah, so I'm gonna get this one off Amazon, and like you said, I personally like collecting some sealed product, and the mats have shown in the recent time that they at least always go from 20 to 40 bucks, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, since you were talking about nationals, DLCs, and all that, we don't know when the next DLCs are coming. The next event is Continentals and then the World Championship. We know there's going to be side events for both of them. We don't know how big everything's going to be, but I'm looking forward to see what they offer as pricing for those events. What are we getting for Continentals? What are we getting for side events for Continentals? And then what about World Championships? There's not going to be that many world competitors, but I want to go witness the first World Lorcana Championship tournament, and I want to go play some side events there. So I'm hoping they do some different stuff than the stuff you see on the screen here. This is the recent Disney Lorcana Challenge prize stuff. The Mickey, there's a listing for $40,000 basically. It's a CCG 10. Then we have the non-foil Rapunzels you can get from the prize wall for around $100. The a graded Cinderella from the prize wall for $200, not too shabby. This is one of the top 32 Cinderella prize cards that you can get. This is a raw selling for almost $1,500. Zach, after your experience going to all these DLCs with me, what can you say is your favorite like prize card? Because personally, I'm still in love with the Dragonfire that you get for free, which have been selling for around 50 bucks now.
You know, that Let It Go has incredible artwork and incredible foiling. The card between that and the Cinderella and the Rapunzel, it is it is probably the one that stands out the most to me. They're all beautiful. I remember watching that lore cast when they announced the prizes and they announced this. We were all ecstatic. We all felt like this one should be earned a lot, should be harder to earn than the others. But the card goes in and out of formats. But Cinderella and the Rapunzel, at least the Rapunzel for sure has been the most played out of any of the three. And there's some big ballers out there that like to really foil out everything, and I mean everything, prize cards and all. So if you're looking to see what some of them sell for and get some actual accurate sales, 130 point that we have up on the screen right here is going to be the source of that information. This allows you to actually see how much best accepted offers are, which happens quite often. We're looking at this Cinderella PSA 10. This card had a best offer accepted of $1,600. The Dragonfire promo, like you said, your
Mhm.
favorite that you get just from participating, selling for about $60 and has a confirmed sale price here. The non-foil Cinderella, the one that you get from the prize wall and the PSA 10, sold for $250. And we're looking at all these graded Lorcana cards, especially PSA graded. The prices are pretty good as far as how much you can get back if you get a solid grade. I've shared my opinions about grading, but Lorcana seems to be doing really well in a slab. What do you think about this, Kevin?
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. There's a lot of interest in slab Lorcana. And then like I think grading the prize cards is always really cool. Like this PSA 10 graded Let It Go, man, selling for $1,000. Like that's an extra $200-300 that you get if you get it a grade PSA 10. And if you're a collector, who knows if they're ever gonna actually reprint these or have these in rotation for the pricing again. Let It Go is specifically an interesting one because that's the only way you can get this foil Let It Go with this Let It Go artwork. With this full art Let It Go artwork, you can't get it non-foil like the Rapunzel or the Cinderella, for example. So Dragonfire and Let It Go, I think, are pretty cool. But yeah, to get to the back to the point, I do like Lorcana slabs. I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot that you can get slabbed. Your D23 collections, your cold foils, your non-foils even. So that's always fun to see. And there's a bunch of different ways you can get them graded as well. So one of these days, I do want to maybe keep one of the prize cards instead of just selling it and get them graded. If anything, I probably should have kept the Let It Go or something. That would have been really nice. But that's going to be all for this week's Market Watch, my goons. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're a Lorcana goon because it does support the channel. Check out Pristine Protection TCG and use code GOONS10 to save 10% on your order because that supports the channel. You can buy these cool goon shirts as well if you want to support the channel. And yeah, if you want to support Zach Stone, be sure to follow his Twitter because he just made one.
All right, I am more active on it now. The account to follow is Zach Stone Brand. If you guys want to follow me for any things I talk about and discuss going into the meta,
Mhm.
I haven't talked about finances or market watches, anything related to that. I have a store, but I buy and sell inventory constantly. I'm always buying Lorcana. So shout outs to anybody that's listening that does show up and bring me stuff. I really appreciate it. I never once thought that like anything like that would come from this. Went onto this channel with Kevin to help him with the finance aspect, and it's become it's a dream. And to any of those store owners that are watching and listening to us, Pristine Protection will do wholesale orders. If you reach out to them, go ahead and let them know that the goon sent you, and they'll make sure to take care of you. And for that, guys, stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, and we'll see you goons next time.
And be sure to watch our recent videos if you want to keep up with the Azurite Sea meta and follow our journey to Continentals as we prepare for January Continental tournaments. Thank you so much, Lorcana Goons. We hope you have an awesome week. And like he just said, we'll see you goons next time.